So you're thinking about moving to San Diego, and you've heard a lot about North County and specifically Carlsbad. Well, that's what we're gonna get in today. We're gonna actually hop into the map view and show you around, show you how it's separated. There's actually 4 different zip codes of Carlsbad. We're gonna give you a little bit of insight into each one, where it's located here in North County. We'll cruise around and show you a few of the surrounding cities as well, just so you get a little perspective, what cities might work for you, if it's not Carlsbad, if it is Carlsbad. And we're also gonna get into like where shopping, how close it is to the beach, commutes, and everything in between. So let's get into it right now.
Hello, I'm Cassidy Lewis.
And I'm Chris Erickson.
And we are both local realtors here in North County, San Diego. This is where we come for all things North County. We're dropping new videos every week on things to do, neighborhoods, places to go, and everything in between. So definitely, if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and that little bell so you know when we're dropping new North County videos. We're getting calls and texts and emails every day, so definitely hit us up. We love helping people move to North County. This is where we grew up. This is the place we live and love. So we love helping people get here too. Definitely call, text, email to get started. It's never too early to start planning if you're moving out to North County, San Diego. Today we are gonna get into a bit of an overview in one of the largest coastal cities here in North County, Carlsbad. Carlsbad has a ton to offer. There are a lot of different options for different styles of living, activities you like doing. There's a ton of different options. So we're going to show you all of those kind of overviewed. If one of the zip codes or areas of Carlsbad interests you, we definitely have a lot of other vlog style videos where you can kind of see that ground level view of a lot of these different neighborhoods in Carlsbad. So definitely check those out. So let's get into Carlsbad right now and give you anything you need to know if you're thinking about moving out here. Let's do it right now.
All right, so here, now we're in map view. We're gonna cruise around Carlsbad. You can see some of the surrounding cities, which we'll kind of touch on. Oceanside Vista, right in this little area, is San Marcos, and you have Encinitas to the south. Carlsbad from downtown San Diego, you'll see the main drag. Cruising up here is the 5. The 5 actually goes like, I don't know, how far does it go, Cassidy? All the way up to like Oregon, to Canada, maybe?
Yeah, I think maybe all the way up, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the main freeway you're going to be if you're commuting down to San Diego, or if you're going up to Orange County, which some people do. It always kind of tends to be a little bit longer than expected. If you're into commutes and you're fine with driving 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, maybe a little longer during rush hour and stuff, then Carlsbad is not a bad option. Going up to Orange County, it looks pretty close. This whole section right in here is Camp Pendleton. So that's all open until you get to San Clemente, which is like the southern part of Orange County. And it really, depending on where you're working up here, Orange County is pretty huge. So if you're going to Irvine or anything like that, you're looking at, much longer than that, just going to downtown San Diego. To the south here, traffic wise, you're going to get some traffic on the 5 in this little area here. It's called the Golden Triangle, where the 5 and the 805 and the 52 meet. This kind of section right down here. So a few freeways coming together, definitely during rush hour, during all that kind of stuff. That's where you're going to start your traffic. And then up here, kind of through, they just made their way through Encinitas, going into Carlsbad now. They're actually making it some carpool lanes to try to ease some of the traffic and some of the growth that's been going on here in North County. Seems like there's construction all the time. And I mean, there kind of is, because they're always trying to keep up with the growth. But as they're working their way up, they're going to add a few more lanes to the freeway here, and make it a little bit easier going through here. Right now, it's like 55 miles per hour because they do have little construction zones and stuff. But ultimately, they're going to go all the way through up to Oceanside here. So right now, like I said, they just not even finished. They're still working on the lanes here in Encinitas to kind of alleviate some of that. But that's the main spots. That's your main artery going north and south. So as you're cruising through, that's going to be the main jam if you're shooting down to San Diego, even just to go downtown to enjoy, go to Petco, enjoy a Padres game, or you could also hop on the train, which is really pretty and kind of runs along the coast here, which we've done in the past and drops you off right in downtown San Diego. So it's pretty killer there.
So as you can see, Carlsbad is quite large. It is one of the biggest towns here in North County, cities here in North County, and it's broken up into 4 zip codes.
So going clockwise, we've got 92008 up in the most northwestern portion. Going to the right, you've got 92010. Heading south, you got 92009. And then heading west, you've got Aviara. So Aviara. Heading west, you've got 92011, which is mostly Aviara. And then heading back up to the northwest portion of Carlsbad, 92008. This is really the heart of Carlsbad. This is the biggest downtown section. The Carlsbad Village, you can see right there, is where there's a ton of restaurants. There's a ton of shops. It definitely has that local beach flair. And we call it Old Carlsbad, is kind of the area of that portion of the zip code right there in the heart. And it's, a ton of changes happening in there right now. There's a lot of smaller homes, little beach cottages on big lots that are being turned into, multiple townhomes. And it definitely is growing, kind of getting even a little bit more easy to walk around and easier to get to different bars and restaurants down there in the village. This is also probably the most touristy portion of Carlsbad, maybe even of all of North County, just because there's a ton of different condos and timeshares and hotels and things all around this portion of Carlsbad. So if you're coming out to visit, to kind of see neighborhoods and stuff, this is definitely one of the spots. If you're thinking about Carlsbad, it's a great jumping off point, because you can see all those restaurants and stuff. You can walk to a ton of them. There's one of our favorites right there, Pizza Port, right on the main drag, Carlsbad Village Drive right there. So this portion of Carlsbad, if you're looking for, an opportunity to buy something a little bit smaller, maybe do some additions, some remodels, this really tends to be the spot, because a lot of the homes are older. And like I said, bigger lots, which is pretty cool. And mostly in the village area, there's some condos and townhomes, but for the most part, this area is going to be single family homes, kind of ranging from, starter homes in Carlsbad up to, multi-million-dollar homes along the beach. So a lot of options in that zip code, and kind of the sky's the limit.
All right, next stop is going to be this northeastern portion of Carlsbad up here. This is 92010. And so as Cassie said, this area over here is going to be kind of that old Carlsbad area. And it is, like you said, a lot of single family homes and older. Once you get in here, there's a huge mix of everything. Townhomes, detached homes, twin homes, a little bit of everything. But the biggest neighborhood and kind of the biggest area in this whole section is Calavera Hills. You can see it right here, but it actually expands to the north up here, and it cruises through, and it all surrounds this big open space here. Let me bring up the satellite view so you could get a little bit of view. But right in the middle here is Lake Calavera, just a little small, really kind of just a nice thing to look at. Not too much going on as far as activities, but right around you can see all these hiking trails, and that's one of the big draws to this area for kind of anyone looking to get outside and cruise around in North County. This is probably the most trails that we have right up here. There's miles and miles of trails cruising around here, and if you're living in this neighborhood, Calavera, it's either a quick little drive, you can park right here and cruise in, or they have a few other access points. Or if you're not living here, you live in other parts of North County, it's, little drive. Like I said, there's plenty of parking. It's pretty spread out. And once you get into these views up here, up on the top of the hill here, it's killer. Overlooking, as I zoom you out, you could see in all directions. So to the north up here is Oceanside. See the border, kind of borders right there. Carlsbad, a little bit more peninsula of Oceanside over here. As you look south, it is looking into different zip codes of Carlsbad, and then obviously you can see the ocean on nice clear days. You might even be able to see out to like Catalina Island if we get far enough out here. You can see it's not popping up. There it is, right up there. But on kind of those, some of these days we have like Santa Ana's where there's offshore winds, so winds coming from the mountain areas here, blow all the marine layer and all the clouds, and it just really clears it out. We just had one recently a few days ago, and was cruising through actually a different area, which we'll touch base on San Alejo, but you could see the Catalina out here is really cool. So anyways, that's the main spot in 92010 right here at Carlsbad. It's also the most affordable area of Carlsbad. So if you're looking to get in, a lot of starter options here, and a lot of different types of living. Another cool thing here is the community park as well, which Carlsbad has a decent chunk of community parks cruise around. And then as far as shopping and stuff, though, if you're living up in this area, if you want to go to all the local shops, independent shops, restaurants, local style, you're going to be heading down to the Village most likely, or even getting into Oceanside here, up and down the 101. There's a bunch of really cool little spots to eat, little breweries, all kinds of fun stuff. And they're doing a lot of work a little bit further north in Oceanside, kind of near the pier. But they're doing a lot of rehab and a lot of new businesses and stuff coming in there. They've been doing it for years. So, if you're just looking to go shopping and, get your groceries, all that kind of stuff, there's some places right up here, up to the north, kind of going into Oceanside, but it's not really too far. So other than that, most of it is all residential. And I did mention that 92010 is the most affordable, but there's a little section right in here. It's new construction, and it's called Robertson Ranch. You can see it. I think it's all dirt when I bring it up on here. Oh no, look at they updated it. But all these houses in here are really high-end houses that have been fairly new construction. They still have a little bit of construction going on in here. And they have this killer community center right in the middle here. So if you're looking for like master plan communities with a few of these little parks spread out through the community, that might be another option as well. But it is one of the more expensive little neighborhoods here in this section of Carlsbad.
So I'm going to mention one more thing about 92008, kind of that south end of the zip code. There's not a ton of housing down here, but it's a lot of where the infrastructure of Carlsbad is, a ton of businesses, and then a bunch of other tourist options, golf, which is awesome. The Crossings Golf Course is right there, which is an awesome public course there in Carlsbad. There's also the flower fields, which are a cool draw. When they're in bloom, you can see them. It's pretty epic, and you can do little tours there. And then there's the outlet mall right there next to the flower fields as well, which is kind of one of the big malls here in Carlsbad. There is also one on the north side right at the 78, which has been recently remodeled and really, really great spot with a movie theater and stuff. So, and you can see Legoland's right there too. So Legoland over the last couple of years has even grown a little bit more. There are a couple of hotels there. There's a water park and aquarium. So a really great spot. Even as locals here, sometimes we have annual passes so we can get there whenever we want to. And it's just a great spot to check out. Some of the outdoor activities in Carlsbad are obviously the beaches. There is a huge stretch of beach almost all the way down 92008 and super easy to access, great spots for parking. And then you can see right there in the middle, you got Agua Hedionda.
Got it. You nailed it.
Is the lagoon there in Carlsbad. There's a really cool spot to be able to rent like jet skis and kayaks and stuff right there at that western portion. But if you've got your own stuff like stand-up paddle boards or anything like that, there are access points like right where it says Aloha stand-up paddle right there. There's a spot where you can jump out and bring your own board, bring your own kayak, and just cruise around that lagoon. And really, really cool spot in Carlsbad.
And if you are cruising out here, you could just cruise in this. There's a little bit of parking right off here off Bayshore. And if not, you'll just be parking on Park Drive and then, just head on out here. And there's little access points. It's actually a cool little beach, especially if you have like kiddos and stuff, because there's no waves. There's just the lagoon. So water's super calm, lots to explore. I mean, and just a little bit of fun to be had out there.
From here, we're going to head to 92009, which is the southeastern portion of Carlsbad. Probably the biggest zip code. I don't know by population, but definitely by geographic space. It's a big zip code. All three of the other zip codes in Carlsbad have one school district that they feed into. This portion of Carlsbad, 92009, has three. So there's a portion that is Carlsbad School District, which is kind of that northern portion there. There's a portion that's San Marcos School District, which is kind of the eastern portion. That Rancho Carrillo area and a little bit of La Costa, old La Costa there off Olga, feeds into San Marcos. And then that south portion of 92009 feeds into the Encinitas School District, or for the older kiddos, San Diego School District for junior high and high school. So if schools are important to you, you just kind of have to know the borders there, and we can definitely help you with that too. But that's the only zip code that you really have to think about it. All the other ones are Carlsbad. So a big chunk of this zip code is kind of considered La Costa. There's a lot of parts to La Costa. Right in there, that main drag, La Costa Avenue, is the main road in there from the freeway. And this is kind of like the older neighborhood, a lot of custom homes, older homes. There are some townhome areas in there too. But then you got La Costa Valley. You've got La Costa Oaks, which is a little bit newer, and Rancho Ponderosa right there on the south. And if you're looking for the high-end homes in Carlsbad as a whole even, but 92009 for sure, is that ranch area right there. There's a few neighborhoods kind of in this section. Saddle Ridge is one, but the ranch is the highest end, and you get some really cool mountain views looking back towards the Livenhain out there. There's a bunch of trails, and it's right there next to the main high school in Carlsbad. And then as we head north, there's a couple of other spots to check out. There is one of the newer master plan communities is Bressi Ranch up there. And this community was really built to be a really walkable community. There's a huge town center with a ton of restaurants, all of your amenities you need, and a lot of it is walkable. It is on a hill, so when we say walkable, there are some spots where it's going to be climbing to get there, but it is kind of set up for that nice wide sidewalks, big parks, a lot of green area, and just a really good feel in that community.
As we cruise, just head or zoom out from Bressi, get it back to that Carlsbad view. Bressi's right in here. We're in the south portion here. Just kind of how all these zip codes are separated is basically El Camino Real is going to split the east from the west, or the other way around, east from the west. And then Palomar Airport Road, which runs right along here and goes into San Marcos, separates the north from the south. So you have Calavera Hills, 92010 up here, 92008 down here. We'll get into this Aviara, which is 011, and then where we are right now. Cassidy mentioned hills. Carlsbad is pretty hilly just kind of throughout. So if you like running and you like getting around and biking and all that kind of stuff, your best bet is kind of shoot down any of these main drags and go along the coast where it's a lot flatter. In here, there's just so many hills, and when you're driving around, you kind of, we've lived here our whole lives, and you kind of don't notice it till you come to certain parts, and you'll kind of be looking down towards the ocean or, back at these hills and stuff. And it's pretty cool. It's not like mountainous or anything, but some pretty gnarly hills. So just be aware of that. And, but also with those hills, you do have a lot of these neighborhoods and stuff that will have some great views, either looking back towards the east over here or towards the ocean, not like, super close ocean views. It's not going to be like you're living on the beach, but, little peaks here and there. And it's just pretty to look at, watch some sunsets, all that kind of stuff.
I was just going to add to that depending where you're coming from, it might be mountainous, not just hills. So it is, different than a lot of parts of the country where there are rolling hills everywhere and mountains kind of on the eastern portions of where we're at.
And one other cool thing about Carlsbad, they do have a bunch of parks, not 2S parks, 1S park. There we go. But yeah, you can see all the parks kind of throughout. So a lot of these other we'll kind of go around to different little neighborhoods, but they have basically four main big parks: Agua Norte, Poinsettia Park. There's Calavera Community Park up to the north, Stagecoach to the south. There's a bunch of these bigger parks, and then spread out through different communities. Some of these, this is all Encinitas down here, but they do have a few of these little community parks as well. Oh, Aviara Park is also one of them as well. So kind of 5 main parks. Really cool. Nice get out. Playgrounds. A lot of them have amenities. One of the coolest one right here is Agua Norte, because they have a little bit of everything. They have skate park. They have playgrounds. They have this huge community center with swimming.
The pool is a huge draw there too. Carlsbad residents can get in for free. And if you're not a Carlsbad resident, there's options to get in there too. You can get a day pass, and there's also some other amenities in there too. There's a splash pad. There's a little spot for food and beverages right there too. So a good spot if you're looking to get cool down on summer days. And they have a bunch of baseball fields. They've got 3 big fields. 2 are turf, a little bit more for the little kids, and they got 1 big old dirt baseball field there too. So, and then also the dog park right there on the edge. So Agua Norte is an amazing park, probably one of the most incredible I've ever been to. So definitely a spot to check out. And there's a bunch of neighborhoods that surround it. Bresci Ranch surrounds it. La Costa Greens is on the south side there. And you can see the golf course, the Omni La Costa golf course. Well, it disappeared, but
there it is.
Yeah, there it is. You can see that golf course runs in there, but so there's some neighborhoods in there that are really close. The Omni La Costa golf course is also one of our favorite staycations. If you're living in North County, it's a really great spot. They've got some cool pools. Obviously, the golf course is right there. And they also have some membership options too. So if you're into tennis, if you're into golf, they've got some membership options that are really neat.
All right, last little area we'll highlight here is 92011, and the bulk of it is Aviara. And so we just did a vlog of this one too, which we've done some of the other ones. So if you want to see ground level, go check those out, because a little bit more in depth, kind of actually see the houses in that area, kind of get into specific little neighborhoods. So this 92011 is mostly Aviara is kind of what we call it, but there's a bunch of other little neighborhoods around here. So if you want to explore, Aviara is mostly going to be the same style houses, a lot of the same kind of area. There are other little neighborhoods in this zip code as well. Forward to the south, as far as eating, all that kind of stuff. Once again, not too much as far as shops and restaurants and all that kind of stuff in here. But if you want to eat, if you want to go get some local flavor, you could either go to the village up here or go down to right here, Lucadia, which is just south. It's part of Encinitas, which is just the south here. And kind of, I mean, there's the 101 here is a killer drive. So even if you're in town exploring neighborhoods, cruise down there, get a good feel for what's around, what you could, what kind of restaurants are here, what kind of shops are here. And it'll give you a good feel of the whole area.
And one other thing about the zip code is there are a lot of opportunity for starter homes, and they're actually really close to the ocean too. So there's a lot of communities in this section like Altamira, Harbor Point, and a bunch of other condo communities, townhomes right in this neighborhood too. So if you're looking for starter type homes in Carlsbad, this is a good option too.
And so a lot of people who are looking to move here are comparing Carlsbad and Encinitas, and then we'll kind of go over San Marcos a little bit as well, this eastern portion here. But compared Carlsbad to Encinitas, Encinitas is going to be a smaller footprint. It's kind of goes down to here, Olivenhaines, the eastern portion here. So you can see it's about at least half the size and more expensive. The median prices from down here to up here is going to change quite a bit. Now, a lot of that is because there's just a lot more options up here, up in this 92010 area. It's a lot more affordable. Obviously, when you get to the coast, everything gets a little bit more expensive, but Encinitas as a whole is a little more expensive, just kind of all around. There are a few little starter communities back here, Village Park, kind of this eastern portion. There's some condo options as well. But for the most part, if you are comparing between here and there, get out there, drive it, see kind of what feels, a lot of this kind of figuring out where you want to live is going to be a lot of feel, a lot of, how is it when you're cruising through, when you're walking through. We'll do our best to get you educated, show you all the areas, but when you do decide to come out and you need a plan, just hit us up and we'll kind of walk you through and send you to areas that might be worth checking out.
So if you're looking in the Carlsbad area, one other option, if a little bit further east works for you, this 92078 zip code is a great one. There's a community where I live right there in San Alejo Hills, which is right on the border of Carlsbad. We've lived here a long time now, and we pretty much live Encinitas and Carlsbad from San Marcos. So everywhere we go for food and amenities and stuff, we're always heading west. So this is a good option, a little bit more affordable as you head east into San Marcos. And then there's another great community just north of that, a little bit older, but that Lake San Marcos community is awesome as well. Has its own feel for sure. We did a vlog style video on this one, and it's a golf cart community. There's a couple of golf courses. There's a lake, which is actually a big enough lake where there's boating and fishing, and just a really cool spot, very unique in this area. We don't have a ton of lakes, and definitely don't have a ton of lakes that you can actually get on. So
Yeah.
Definitely a cool spot if a little bit further east works for you.
All right, so we're gonna head back to Carlsbad before we let you go here and just bring it up again. So once again, ton of different styles of living. Pretty good access to the freeways. Obviously, a lot of people move here to the beach, but that's not the only draw. There's a lot of different stuff to do in here. Carlsbad is also really trying to grow kind of business, and they're super business friendly. So a lot of jobs, a lot of growth going on throughout the city. They're just trying to keep things going, expanding, all that kind of stuff. So it is continually growing, not so much as far as construction and that kind of stuff, because a lot of it, for the most part, is built out. There's a few little communities here and there, new construction, but for the most part, it is kind of, set as it is.
And some of the activities that people move out to North County, San Diego for, definitely that beach life, that ability to get to the beach from anywhere. So Carlsbad definitely has that. And then also golf courses are huge, obviously, since we have so many sunny days here in North County. We've got the Crossings here in Carlsbad. You've got Omni La Costa Golf Course. You've got Aviara, and then the shorty little course up north, Rancho Carlsbad Golf Course too. So ton of great golfing options. So Carlsbad definitely has all those outdoor activities that are a big draw here in North County. It's very easy to be outside all the time. There's a ton of cycling. There's great sports parks. There's great everything. So definitely a cool community here in Carlsbad.
So that's Carlsbad as a whole. As you saw, there's 4 different zip codes with all their own unique little areas, little vibes, all that kind of stuff. So like we said earlier, if you want to get to the ground level, we've done a lot of these vlog style where we're cruising around, showing you specific neighborhoods, like really cool little spots to go check out, to eat, things to do, everything in between. So be sure to go check out those vlogs and kind of learn a little bit more about what's going to work best for you. What we always like to do is have people come out here. If they are thinking about moving out here, hit the ground themselves, hit us up. We're more than happy to give you information. If you don't want to meet up right away, we'll give you spots to check out, neighborhoods to check out, but you got to call us, text us, email us, whatever's easiest for you. We love helping people make that move out here to North County, San Diego. And once you call us or text us or email us, obviously you'll hear back from us, but what we'll do, we'll set up a Zoom call and we'll actually hop into the map specifically with you, kind of find out your wants, your needs, what are you looking for, what are you into, and really help you zone in on areas to help you get your search really dialed in here in North County. We'll do price points, areas. So even if you're 1 month, 6 months, a year out, just hit us up. Like I said, call, text, email, let's hop on that Zoom call and really get you dialed in. It's really never too early to get it in there. You'll have a direct line search with us. Ask us questions through to our little search tool. So really get you familiar with the area.
So taking that few minutes to get on a Zoom call with us and just chat it out is super helpful for both of us. It helps us kind of get an idea of what your intentions are, gives you the opportunity to get your questions answered face to face, and really tell us exactly what you're looking for when you move out to San Diego, and helps us find that perfect spot for you. So thanks for following along. And like I said earlier, if this is your first time, definitely hit that subscribe button and that little bell that tells you when we're dropping new North County videos so you can check out the next one.